On December 1, 1934, Kirov, the first secretary of Leningrad, was assassinated in the Smolny Palace, where his office was in broad daylight. The murderer was caught on the spot. Since the interrogation records were not released and the mysterious death of relevant witnesses, the case was confusing. But what is certain is that under the instruction of the benevolent father, the People's Committee member of the Internal Affairs, Yagoda, used this case to kick off the purge. However, Yagoda did not understand the leadership's intentions deeply enough and took himself in just 2 years. Like many old Bolsheviks, Yagoda was also a Jew and was born in Tsarist-Orbinsk in 1891. His early experience is controversial. According to my own statement, I went to middle school and worked in an underground printing factory at the age of 14. I participated in the Russian Revolution in 1905. I joined the Bolsheviks at the age of 16. I was arrested and exiled by the Tsarist gendarmerie in 1911. He was released in 1913 for the amnesty to the 300th anniversary of the establishment of the Romanov dynasty. During World War I, he joined the army. He was injured and retired in the autumn of 1916. He returned to Petrograd, became friends with the writer Gorky, and actively participated in the October Revolution. He joined the All-Russian Anti-Counterfeiting Committee, Chika, in 1918 and soon became a member of the Presidium. Another version shows that Yagoda had not been to school for several years and joined the Bolsheviks on the eve of the revolution. The reason for his rapid promotion in Chika is that his cousin was Sverdlov, an important figure in the early Soviet Union, the first nominal head of state, and his influence was second only to Lenin and Trotsky. However, Sverdlov died of Spanish flu in March 1919. Even though Yagoda was promoted by his cousin in the early stage, he still relied on himself to rise later. He is skilled in tricks and is good at underground work. During the Soviet Civil War, as a member of the Supreme Military Supervision Bureau, he traveled all the fronts and established good relations with almost all the old Bolsheviks. He soon became the second deputy of the founder of Chika, Kerensky. After the end of the Soviet-Russian Civil War, Chika was reorganized into GBU, and Kerensky served as the Minister of Communications and chairman of the Supreme Economic Commission, and Yagoda, as his deputy, was the actual manager of GBU. Later, Kerensky died, and Meng Kerensky, who was also of Polish descent, took over as the head of Chika, but he was not in good health and his power was basically in the hands of Yagoda. He, who possessed the secret police, supported Stalin in the high-level power struggle after Lenin's death to attack Trotsky, Zinoviev, and others. Thanks in large part to him, Stalin could defeat the powerful Trotsky. But Yagoda's position is sometimes erratic. In the late 1920s, he was involved in the Bukharin incident. At that time, Bukharin and Lykov formed an alliance to oppose agricultural collectivization and planned to pull in Stalin's opponent Kamenev, who had lost power. As a result, Kamenev turned around and sold him. Talk records provided by Kamenev show Stalin opponents once called Yagoda our man. Yagoda, who was furious and sweating, immediately expressed his loyalty to Stalin, admitting that he had indeed met Lykov alone before, but he was just drinking and bragging, and had no other intentions towards Stalin. Bukharin's widow, Radneva, despised Yagoda very much, calling him a pathetic coward and selling his soul to save himself. Is this true? It's hard to say. But Yagoda still has the level, and the well-known Gulag system was expanded and improved in his hands. Gulag is the abbreviation of the Soviet labor camp administration. It was established by GBU in 1930 and was initially not large. As the domestic situation in the Soviet Union changed, the punishment tightened, and more people were arrested, and Gulag expanded rapidly. Yagoda has established an efficient operating mechanism to carefully classify and arrange different types and intensity work according to the severity of the crime, cultural level, and labor capacity of the criminal. At the same time, it also focuses on combining Gulag and Soviet economic construction and use it on a large scale. Prisoners participate in infrastructure. First, these people don't have to pay their wages, just take care of some food, which is cheap. Second, it can increase the value of Gulag and obtain more resource support. Between 1931 and 1933, Yagoda was awarded the Lenin Medal for organizing prisoners to build the White Sea-Baltic Canal. More than 20,000 prisoners died abnormally during the construction process. In May 1934, the second leader of Chika, Meng Kerensky, died and GBU was incorporated into the Ministry of Internal Affairs. In July, Yagoda was appointed as the People's Committee of the Internal Affairs by Stalin, and his power reached its peak. On December 1 of the same year, Kirov, the first secretary of Leningrad, who had close ties with Stalin and had a high prestige, was assassinated. Stalin rushed to Leningrad that day and personally participated in the investigation. The interrogation murderer Nikolaev insisted that he assassinated himself because he was dissatisfied with the work arrangements, But why could he enter the third floor of Smolny Palace with a gun? Why did you go to the German consulate many times in advance? And the key witness, the captain of the guard who accompanied Kirov upstairs, died in a car accident during Stalin's arraignment? All of this casts a fog on the assassination. This case will be made in detail later. Today I will just talk about Stalin's view. He believes that Trotsky and his accomplices planned the assassination, and a purge against the old Bolsheviks and all opponents began. Yagoda, who has mastered the security department, became the direct person in charge of the anti-counterfeiting. His role in this catastrophe is complicated. On the one hand, for the purpose of defending the Soviet Union and under the pressure of Stalin, Yagoda quickly arrested, exiled, and executed many people, even his niece. On the other hand, he did not have much ambitions, opposed fabricating conspiracy cases, expanded the scope of the incident, and released many innocent people. Initially, he sentenced Kamenev, Zinoviev, and others. This obviously did not meet Stalin's intention. If he did not destroy the old Bolsheviks who opposed him, he would probably not even sleep well. Stalin was increasingly dissatisfied with Yagoda. As long as Yagoda was implemented, there was no possibility of safe landing. Realizing that he wasn't good. In August 1936, the first Moscow trial was organized. Kamenev and others were sentenced to death. But it was too late. A month later, Yeruofu replaced them and the Great Purge entered orgasm. Many old Bolsheviks, 3 marshals, 15 army commanders, 60 commanders, 136 division commanders and hundreds of thousands of civilians will all die. Yagoda was first demoted to the transportation commissioner. In March 1937, he was arrested. The charge was for German spies, Trotskyists, and conspiracy to usurp power. In addition, he was also accused of embezzlement, smuggling, and poisoning Gorky. It is said that a large number of unhealthy items and banned books were found from Yagoda's home, as well as 2 bullets that killed Genevieve and Kamenev. In March 1938, Yagoda, Bukharin, Likov and others were sentenced to firing in the third Moscow trial and executed immediately. His sister, wife, brother-in-law and other relatives were also executed one after another. At the end of the same year, the Great Purge ended. In 1988, the Soviet Union admitted that the Moscow trial was based on false confessions, declared the defendants innocent and restored their reputation. Only Yagoda was not rehabilitated. This is no exception. Throughout history, mutual benefit has always been without a good ending.